Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram is at AnonymousRealityTV. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out into the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes. Coming or going, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. So we need to talk Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sweet 16, Season 16, Episode 5, about last night. And we just got to talk about it, y'all. And disclaimer, Team Twirl, disclaimer, everybody. This is my opinion of what I think, y'all. Please do not be in the attack mode. Please. We can have differences of opinions and it can be okay. But I'm giving my opinion based off of my observations. And to be honest, this episode sucked. This episode was a bore. I was falling asleep, y'all. So, first of all, we start off the episode with Angela, Shamia, and Britt at Shamia's house, and it is giving to me, this is just my opinion, I don't have any inside knowledge, it is giving that production hit up Britt and said, we've been made aware, we reviewed the tape, we reviewed what has been said about the alleged Glocks, about the alleged pistols and whips and chains and all of the like, and did you make threats to Kenya Moore? We need you to rectify this quick, fast, in a hurry. So, Britt on the entire episode was on the I am sorry for 2004 in 2024 type of energy, y'all. I am sorry for 2024. I am sorry for the alleged GUN comments. I would never threaten anybody. I would never I wouldn't hurt a fly out here. It's how hard Britt was going. It was giving. I don't know if it was genuine because sometimes it felt I'm a liar. I'm an actress. I don't know. But basically, Angela admits that she was the one that wrote the messy question about how Kenya treats Britt. And I was like, oh, Angela is a low-key Sheree Whitfield. She is a low-key bone carrier, pretending to play both sides and pretending to be supporter of everybody, but doing a little bit of messy mess behind the scenes. No. So, Shamia is encouraging Britt that she needs to talk to Kenya Moore, tell Kenya Moore how she feels and all this and that she is not trying to pistol whip or threaten to KILL anybody and all of the things. And then, y'all, we then get a scene at Kenya Moore's hair care spa that is featuring Portia, that is featuring Kelly. Everybody's playing nice. Kenya's asking, is there going to be any pow going down between Portia and Kelly? Do we have to worry about a knuck if you buck situation? And they're saying, not really, but really, it won't happen, right? So Kenya is having Portia and Kelly chime in on some potential models for the spa event. Portia's trying to inquire, does she need to take out the go naked hair for any type of demos? And Kenya said, no, not that type of party. Not that type of party. They bring up Britt and Kenya saying, listen, looky here. I didn't like Britt's comments. I didn't like what she was trying to do. So if she is trying to make any type of threats against me, I am going to hire a private investigator, and I am going to research her. I'm going to find out what the tea is on her. And I was like, oh, so we are hiring an investigator. Okay, this is not going to end well, right? So for those of you that are like, oh, this is out in the public. Oh, this is public this, public that. But Kenya herself is saying she hired a private investigator, y'all. She said that. Next, we get to Angela Oakley. Heavy Angela this episode. We have the episode where she is meeting with her daughter, and I already recapped this in another video, but just seeing it fully, I don't get anything. I don't get what Angela is trying to give us. I feel like we are getting partial truths in the story. I feel like we're missing the beginning and the end, and we're coming in at the middle, and we're supposed to have these reactions, and I need more information. And I don't like how, like I said, the daughter's trying to manipulate everything. She's giving like a low-key Mama Joyce, trying to dictate what Angela does with the money in terms of helping out other people. But my thing is, if you're grown and you've been married for 4 months, why are you concerned about driving your grandmother's car? Who cares who bought it? Who cares who bought the house? She's the one that's living there, isn't she? She's the one that's driving the vehicle. Why are you in your 20s and you don't have a vehicle? Where's your whip? Where's your transportation? And where's your spouse's transportation of 4 months that you needed to use someone else's car? No. And you can't afford an Uber and Lyft or a taxi? No. But you had all that energy for Angela? No. Not buying this foolishness and everything else. It is giving that maybe you're struggling financially and you're concerned about what Angela's doing with the money as that affects you and the inheritance. No. So next, y'all, we then head to Angela again in a scene where, and it was an awkward scene because she's talking with Charles about what Portia said at the event and everything else. Oh, rewind. Angela also told Shamia and Britt that basically she got an earful. She got backlash from the owners of the Money Bake event because they didn't like what was going down. They didn't like how things escalated, and that was not good for business for them. So fast forward back to the scene of Angela and Charles is cooking, of course. And we already saw the scene where she already is telling Charles that Portia said that she had some tea on him. And then when Angela inquired, Portia then said it was a joke. Charles Oakley basically was like, Portia don't want none of this. It's Portia the fed. She's barking up the wrong tree, da-da-da-da-da. Then it was an interesting scene in the kitchen because Angela had washed her hands and she was about to eat or whatever. And then Charles Oakley told her, you're not going to wash your hands. And so I don't know if he just didn't see it or whatever, but then they were around the footage and showed Angela did wash her hands. They gave the son a piece of chicken and all this and that. And I guess she's getting ready for Kenya Moore's event, right? So then we're seeing Kenya Moore. We see Lawrence. Lawrence makes an appearance on the show. Lawrence is giving Kenya her flowers about how she is the first one to mention how you could put a clip in a track and all this other stuff and how it was innovative and all of this. So then we get to, people starting to arrive for Kenya's event. We see Shamia start to be arrived. I think she's one of the first people to arrive. We see Cynthia. She's one of the first people to arrive. Everything else, everybody's doing press. They show some of the black bloggers that are there and that are giving on-site interviews and everything else to talk about the event. Then we see Kelly. She has rented a party bus of sorts and a luxury party bus and is going to go pick up Britt. Britt comes into the vehicle. Britt has got flowers and basically is like, listen, I've apologized to everybody. Also, prior to this, Britt had also had a sit down with Portia. Portia really was actually advocating hard for Kenya, like saying Kenya felt threatened, saying that this was too far, saying that, her and Kenya have had her ups and downs, but she said this season in particular, her and Kenya were actually in a good place. They were actually, on a good note and all of these things. And so she was just trying to get to the bottom of like what actually was happening. And so I think it clicked for Britt once all these people are asking her like what are we doing threatening people with GUNs. She realized that she needed to pivot, she needed to move because we need to continue. We need to lay on extra thick now the Sorry for 2024 tour, and because it's not landing right now. So on the party bus, we see Kelly pick up Britt, and Britt has this whole thing of flowers, of white roses for Kenya to mean starting anew, starting fresh. Apparently, she wrote this really big letter and everything else of an apology, and she's hoping that this could be, her olive branch moment with Kenya. However, it sounds like, for all intents and purposes, up until this point, she has not been in contact with Kenya at all. Kenya has not uninvited anybody at all either. Then we get to the event. We see Kenya arrive. We see the models. They're like, Kenya, more hair spa, circa Kenya, more hair care. And then we see Portia arrive after that as well. Portia doing interviews as well, saying that she is happy and supportive of Kenya, that her and Kenya are in a really good place and all of these things. And so then we have like a little throwback in the event where Kenya is having a little bit of a hair show. It was really cool to see. Now, I didn't really see in the episode in terms of like what the actual spa is going to do, what the spa is actually going to provide, and all of the features of it. I thought that was going to be a little bit more clear in the episode, but nonetheless, Kenya was, giving a few speeches about all the blood, sweat, and tears that she put into this, and all of this, that she wanted to do this for her daughter, to leave a legacy for Brooklyn, and all of these things, y'all. And then Drew shows up super late with Heavy D, her sister, according to Portia, as well. So I'm like, are we trying to regulate? Is this trying to be a knuck if you butt situation? Like, what's tea? What is good? So nonetheless, Drew tries to talk to Portia again about Dennis. Portia doesn't care. Portia doesn't want to hear it. Portia's not featuring any of this, and she could care less. And so nonetheless, Drew's like, I'm done. I'm finished with this. And it seems that there's confusion by many people on what Portia is actually upset about. I don't think she cares about Drew and Dennis. I think she is more upset about the filming behind her back, filming with Dennis behind Portia's back, because that's taking away somebody that Portia can film with, because if everybody's on different call times and different schedules, that limits how much Portia can limit with Dennis. And since we know she doesn't want to talk about Simon and how Simon is being a terror on the internet at this point in time, I think her issue is she can't film as much with Dennis as she would like because Drew's filming with Dennis. And then also she's upset because the person on her team had mentioned in the previous episode about Drew trying to contact him to run promo and do all of this other business stuff for Drew Sidor's rollout for her album. So it seems like Drew is utilizing all of Portia's people, Portia's makeup artist, Portia's creative director, Portia's baby daddy. She's using Portia's entire team to basically push herself forward in this music stuff. And I think that's the root of Portia's issue, in addition to filming scenes with Dennis. I don't think it has anything to do with them working on an album together. The issue is she feels you're spending all this time filming with Dennis, and then on top of that, you try to schedule a photo shoot behind my back when you were the ambassador of Go Naked. I'm the owner of the company. You're trying to now pull my creative director. You're already using my makeup artist that had to do a rush job on me at the Balmain event, in which I had to show up with my makeup half done because you wanted to, stall and hold them hostage. So nonetheless, you feel like when Portia made that comment that Drew is trying to be me, she's literally utilizing Portia's entire team to make fetch happen for herself. So that's why Portia doesn't want to talk to her. So that's my interpretation of it, at least. So also, what else happened? Everybody was greeting each other. All of the housewives were there at Kenya's spa event and everything else. And in comes, at the 11th hour, Britt and Kelly. Britt and Kelly come in at the 11th hour, and, they are, greeting everyone. Britt tries to greet Kenya. Kenya doesn't want to hear the greeting. Britt tries to acknowledge, hey, I brought you flowers, this and that, trying to make a peace offering. Kenya doesn't want to hear it. And, it sounds like they're all trying to ask Britt, like, have her and Kenya spoken since the last event? And Britt is saying no. And so nonetheless, since Britt is kind of feeling the energy that Kenya's not really trying to see it for her, is not really trying to feature her and all of these things, Britt decides to twirl back on out of the event, since she's not getting any acknowledgement from Kenya. She's not getting anything from Kenya at all. So she feels, why stay stay here and just, you know, wait to be thrown out or wait to be called out or whatever. I'm just going to leave myself. And so then Kelly comes outside to kind of just talk to her, let her know, hey, you tried, you know, doing an olive branch. It didn't work out the way that it did for Shamia and Angela, even though these are two completely different situations. However, you did make the attempt. I'm going to go back in there and see what is tea. You go back home and do you, right? Or whatever else. And so nonetheless, we come back in and it seemed like Kenya kept trying to make an announcement. It seemed like Kenya kept trying to rush. Once she saw Britt appear, it seemed like she was trying to hurry up and get everybody together. And I felt like she was hoping that this expose was going to go down with Britt Edie being there, and that didn't happen. And so nonetheless, Kenya goes into a whole monologue on how she's still this girl, how she's been that girl, and how nobody's going to take food out of her mouth, in her daughter's mouth. She is blowing out to the wind, saying that she's paying people like Britt dust. She is saying that, you know, she is pissed because the other day Britt made threats against her and, you know, threatened GUN stuff to her and all the things, and said that she had a pistol, and it really offended her, and she felt a certain type of way. And Kenya said, nobody's going to do that to me. I did some research on you. I did a private investigator on you. And Kenya then pulls out 3 boards that she must have got designed from Staples or somewhere. I don't know if she went to Staples, if she went to like the FedEx of it all and got these printouts and got these cardboards and these poster boards. I'm surprised management did not flag these poster boards for being too graphic and refused to put these on display. But nonetheless, the first board was alleging that Britt Edie was, you know, had plastic surgery, had, you know, a fake nose, a fake rhinoplasty. All this stuff is blurred. Bravo puts up a message like, due to the explicit nature of the images, we're just not even going to show it. So we need you to use your imagination as to what is being blurred out. So nonetheless, Kenya talks through the first image, and then she brings up a second poster that seems to be even more graphic. Already the ladies are not feeling it. Already they're saying, you know, Kenya, this is too far. And Kenya's like, no. What Britt did was too far, right? What Britt did was too far. So therefore, I'm going to go to HELL and trick myself out of my own peach, trick myself out of being on this show for over a decade and doing all of the foolishness of it all. And so nonetheless, Kenya then, you know, brings out the third poster card or poster board, which is supposed to be allegedly Britt slobbing on the knob of allegedly Britt performing oral transactions on somebody and all of this. And everybody's face, their mouth is agape. The housewives have ran out faster than the speed of light, y'all. They were gone one by one. And Kelly was, I think, the first to go. And she said, listen, everybody has been a 304 in their lifetime. Like, this is nothing new. Everybody's been a 304, whether it's in the past or in the present. Everybody's been a 304. This is inappropriate. This is too far. All of the girls were horrified. All of the girls were disgusted. Portia says she's not sticking around, even though Portia has made RAPE gate allegations against Candy. Even Portia said, this is too much for me. This is too much. This is too far. Take the cameras off. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. This is not it. I don't want to be associated with this. I don't want to look like I'm complicit in this and all in this and all of that. So everybody storms out of there except for Drew and Cynthia. And even Cynthia is trying to have a moment with Kenya, like, listen, looky here, girl. And I don't know if people saw it, but when Cynthia was telling Kenya that this isn't it, this isn't you, you went too far, you did team too much, you twirled yourself out of a spot out of here because this was not the answer, this was not the response. Kenya had like this nervous twitching on her leg, like it kind of like realized, like reality set in that this was not it. that this was too much, that this was inappropriate, that this went too far and everything else. And but she still was on, you know, she still had this look on her face like, you know, oh well, oh freaking well, you know, don't threaten me with a GUN. And so you know, Cynthia was like, I love you, I want the best for you, you're better than this is beneath you. And then Cynthia twirls on. Life twirls on for Cynthia, and she is twirling on out of the hair care spa. And then Drew is still sitting there because I guess she's late, and her and Heavy D needed something else to do since Portia is not giving her a storyline. So nonetheless, you know, there were still people in there after the fact, but pretty much mostly everyone hightailed it out of there. Angela was out of there, Shamia was out of there, like everybody was out of there. So nonetheless, we didn't even get a scene preview, y'all, for the next episode. That's how bad it was. We eventually got a clip in the middle I saw of Watch What Happens Live, where it looks like some of the girls are having a get together. I didn't see Portia there, and obviously Kenya's not there, where they're talking about etiquette and what's below the belt and all this other stuff. And I think Angela and Britt get into it. But nonetheless, also Bravo put up at the end of the episode, due to Kenya's actions, we decided to cease filming with her for the season. So there's a lot of people who have mixed reviews on this on the internet, and I just want to say this: two wrongs do not make a right. Two wrongs do not make a right. I also want to, for the people who are saying that this is public of whatever images Kenya showed of Britt, can you please point me to what is public of Britt slobbing on the knob? I'm just confused as to what is public of graphic images, y'all. What was public about it if none of us can find the images? And why, and still up until this point, nobody has shown what the images are? If it wasn't for Cynthia saying that, you know, Kenya showing a pic of Britt allegedly slobbing on the knob, like, we would have had no frame of reference. So again, that's why I keep asking, is Peacock going to show what the real images are so we can have an idea of like what we're really looking at here? Because you know, for all intents and purposes, I can just only go off of the reactions of the housewives, and the reactions were completely horrified and mortified and never wanted to see any of this foolishness again. So like I said, Kenya for me, Kenya went too far. And I know some people are going to be like, hey, you can't choose how somebody's going to respond when somebody threatens you with a GUN. But here's my thing. You were at your own event that you just put $400,000 of your own money into, that you were anticipating to keep open, keep afloat, based off of your Real Housewives of Atlanta salary. This event was all about you. Everything was going well. Everything seemed to be, you know, a beautiful opening, a beautiful hair show. We got a throwback with Lawrence. All the ladies, for the most part, were trying to get along, except for that little weird moment between Drew and Portia. But outside of that, like, it was a success. It was a success. After that, it's time to wrap it up. It is time to close. And it was almost as if you saw red. It seemed as though those poster boards were there on purpose if Britt showed up. And then since Britt showed up, you had anticipated showing the images. But then you needed a reason to still show the images because Britt hightailed it out of there before you could give her a read and embarrass her and humiliate her, because the trailer and the previews made it seem like Britt ran out of there crying, but it sounded like Britt was not even there at all for all of this to go down. That Britt had heard about this after the fact. And so, nonetheless, you did all of this. Everybody's face is looking horrified and mortified. Everybody's faces is looking like WTH and WTF. You cannot discount that this was wrong, this was inappropriate. You allowed a new girl, a new person, to trick you out your spot, to get you this unraveled. It made zero sense to be giving this much time, this much energy to Britt. Why not just simply refuse to film with her? Refuse to film with her uninvite her, ask security to escort her out, whatever the case may be, so you are not even interacting with her at all. But it was as if those poster boards were there on purpose. In the event Britt showed up, you had intentions to display this per your alleged private investigator, and that is not okay, y'all. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.